So y'all know I'm laughing my ass off, right? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to 5 Minutes of Fire. Next episode of Boss Talk Radio. I'm just dying laughing at the hypocrisy of America. And at the same time, the only thing I'm surprised about is the fact that some of us are surprised or that we're upset or even remotely concerned. Like, you had to see this coming. I mean, I ain't saying, your vision is clear as mine. I seen this coming 7 years ago, but you had to see this coming at least 7 weeks ago, right? And the funny thing about it was like, it's been entertaining for me, the whole news spin on this thing, like the choice of words or whatever. I remember when I first got hip to how the media plays this thing out was back when Katrina, and they kept saying refugees versus evacuees and things of that nature, and I start really paying attention to the wording that, the media would use or whatever, just like when they used to say throughout his entire first term, they called him Mr. Obama, not President Obama. But anyway, here's what's like really a fool with it, right? This morning, I wake up to, and actually even went to sleep to, many Republicans jumping ship and abandoning Trump and throwing him under the bus and saying enough is enough, and he don't know how to act and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, y'all just not realizing this. Y'all didn't realize this before he even got in the White House. Y'all didn't realize this back when he first campaigned. Like, this wasn't your dude, But here's what was interesting, and this is an undeniable fact, right? At the end of the day, back in 2016, whatever, Trump was voted into office by America. Like, most Americans backed him. And you could say, well, yeah, this number of people didn't show up to the polls. Good morning, Jamal. How you doing, brother? You can say this number of people didn't show up to the polls, this, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, even in 2020, over 70 million Americans showed up for this dude and they willing to just fight for it to the end of time or whatever. And it's crazy. It's really crazy because the hypocrisy in all of it is what amazes me. Somebody sent me a link showing a picture that he had done from a tweet he had done about insurrection and riots and how they'd be handled and who should go to jail or whatever. And on the direct flip side, he's been, inciting this for months on end. We go all the way back to the debate, with the stand down and stand by shout out to those boys over there, and even then it was like he never one time denounced the foolery that was going on. When he was asked a direct question, will you denounce hate groups and this and that and the other, he didn't do it, So there's some things he did do right while he was in that thing. But at the end of the day, he wasn't competent for that position, and the funny part, there's some of you clowns that jump on my page or whatever and want to condemn things that I say, and I ain't your president. And he get just as bad as I do on the opposite side or whatever, but hey, it is what it is. Anyway, so we have this thing this morning. They're talking about the breakdown in security, the breakdown in law enforcement. Man, that was not a breakdown in law enforcement. That was by design. That's how that thing go. Go back and look at the pictures during the BLM protests. Oh, that goes back to the media part, right? Because back then, the media called that riots, even before anything, any property was damaged or whatever the case may be. They called it riots or whatever. But you know who was at the White House yesterday acting a fool? These were the same people that had an issue with Colin Kaepernick's protest or his former protest. I'm just calling it what it is. Don't know who said it. They say you keep knocking on devil's door long enough, sooner or later someone's going to answer. Well, America's been knocking for a long time. So what's going on, Gerald? So here we have this thing where they're talking about this breakdown in security or whatever, and you have to understand what law enforcement was designed to do. Go back and look at the pictures of the Capitol building when there was the BLM protests, and it was blocks away or whatever. I remember being in DC back in September, and this was crazy because there was the normal fence, the normal barricade. But there was a barricade way out a block in front of the fence. There's another barricade back there. I'm like, so how did these people really get up in there like that? Like, you had time, but it'll all come out at some point, but we won't know the truth because the media is going to spin it. I was watching last night, Sarah Palin and a couple other clowns were on TV calling these people patriots. He already put it. They were calling them patriots. I was like, wow. Now, meanwhile, y'all know if we get together for anything of any intellectual means or whatever, it's going to be broken up. If it's considered a protest, somebody's going to throw something and then say we rioted and we wasn't even there. I remember back during when they were doing the protest with the George Floyd thing, and they were talking about, rioters and this and that and the third, and how he shouldn't be a martyr and this and that. But all the pictures that were coming up, especially from here in Dallas, didn't look like us. Just saying. The people that were breaking cars and breaking property and whatever didn't look like us, but it's an interesting spin on what they have going on here. I've been distracted trying to work, just watching the news, and you see I'm still glancing up at it here and there, but it's the hypocrisy of it all that really, that does it for me. It's like, man, if y'all even understood for a minute how you said this last week, we ain't talking about a turn from a decade ago or even 4 years ago. We're talking about from just the things y'all were saying last week or over the summer or whatever, And the funny part was, I told y'all this, and I caught a lot of heat behind this one. I caught a bunch of heat behind this one. Good morning, Saturday. How you doing? Back in the late spring, when I said that if businesses and everything wasn't closed, if jobs wasn't closed, you wouldn't have this massive protest because white folks are just out here protesting because they don't have anything else to do. They can't go to work right now or whatever. So, this is a way for them to get out of the house or whatever. You are not going to convince me that people that shared the same mindset behind the BLM protests in the spring were of the same mindset of the people that stormed the Capitol on yesterday. That don't even go together, And it's also more evidence that Black folks are more conservative than the political system wants to admit to, just because, they get assigned to the Democrats or whatever by default or, whatever. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We don't do that. You're talking about pipe bombs. You ain't never seen a black man with a pipe bomb or any type of bomb outside of the military. It just don't happen. I remember we were like really embarrassed when they had the DC sniper situation. He's like, what? A black dude did that? But anyway, that aside, it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. Some people are calling for the 25th Amendment right now. or whatever, talking about, hey, get him out of here, or whatever, with, less than 2 weeks left. It was like, where was that at when he demonstrated incompetencies, last year, the year before, especially in 2020? Oh, you got to be kidding me. Especially in 2020. If you make a comment on Facebook, be sure to leave your name so I can shout you out or whatever. But if you weren't at home or wherever yesterday just watching an absolute amusement at this, I took some more heat last night. It was somebody else's page. Maybe I was out of line. So I made a point of putting it on my page because there were some people talking about how sad it was that this woman who was shot at the White House yesterday, at the Capitol building yesterday, had died, and how it was a senseless killing and how it was tragic. I'm like, for real? You talking about the woman who broke the law and broke into the building and literally was approaching police and got shot? Oh, I thought you said something about Breonna Taylor, the first responder that was killed in her bed. And This America said, well, something about her choices and relationships and blah, 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 blah. Just disregard it. You talk about victim blaming at its finest. Oh, that was tragic. But you want me to feel sorry for somebody who was killed in the act of committing a crime? Yeah, fuck that, never. Ain't gonna happen, And this somebody else said, well, that's a lack of empathy and blah, blah, blah. We're all humans. Yeah, no, the fuck we're not. Not when it comes to the other end of that police situation. They always use that line, well, they wouldn't die if they comply when it comes to us in any given innocent situation. Well, she wouldn't have been breaking the law, She'll be here this morning to have an interview about whatever was on her mind when she did it. But it was a mob mentality. It was a mob mentality, and this is the problem with a mob mentality. Once it go left, everybody on that let's go or whatever, but the first one through the door. Wait, did y'all see that? Did y'all see the guy? Hell, I don't know if he was police or security. The black guy with the stick or whatever, right? Show you about the hypocrisy of America. Use that exact same situation, reverse the colors, and that had been a black man coming through the door with a bunch of black people behind him, and a white officer would not have been swinging a stick. At a bare minimum, he was going to tase him. But we know, yeah, that would have been his last day. But this dude sitting there swinging the stick or whatever, like, man, you might as well had clocked out and went on to the house because you wasn't doing nothing at that point, Somebody starts to say flashlight cop. What's going on, sis? And like Starsland said, she says it should have been more dead sorry, not sorry. But in the grand scheme of things, like, I saw, shout out to Philip Dunn. He had this post this morning, right? And he was talking about, the bromance between Russia and Trump or whatever. In this timeline that no, law enforcement took control of the situation, and how weak that made America look to the rest of the world or whatever. And some of y'all chose to say, well, that was embarrassing. And I'm just like sitting here like, this clearly was by design, because I remember early 2000s, a plane went into that no-fly zone or whatever. And no, that was actually in the 90s. Little small plane or whatever. They claimed this plane hit a tree, and that's how it crashed. They shot that damn plane down, man. And so for this to be able to happen in one of the most securest areas in the world, of what can quickly become the most secured area on planet Earth, Yeah, that clearly was, by design. That was an inside job. But this is what America is. Let's examine this truth. Let me piss some people off this morning. You ready for this? Because I know y'all got to get in your car and go to work. The only reason Trump was ever in office was because those same 70 million plus people was just pissed off that Obama had ever been in office. Not necessarily pissed off about anything that he did in particular or whatever. Just y'all remember when they had an issue with Barack having a BlackBerry phone or whatever the case may be, but Trump get to have a Twitter account? Come on, man. Let's think about that one for a second. Y'all remember the absolute anger they had when Obama put on a tan suit for something? And, these were the little idiosyncrasies that, America, spelled with the KKK, would get upset about when Obama was in office. But they defended this orange tang looking motherfucker to the end of time. I mean, even to this day, you have people on TV out there supporting this dude, ready to just, go to the flames of hell. And here's the other thing nobody else has called them out on. When was the last time you seen your president being presidential? I'm just kidding. I'm asking for a friend. Because it seems to me that this dude took off in early November after the election. He ain't done nothing presidential really since then. He made a couple little, flashlight plays, to make it seem like, y'all made the wrong choice or whatever. But this dude ain't been working, for the can we get the money back? Can we get the 3 months salary back or something? That's what I want to know. Trump needs to be institutionalized, straight committed. Well, that's better treatment than I'm offering because personally, I think he should have met the fate of Kennedy, but hey, what do I know? Anyway, more importantly, be mindful that there's some upset people in America right now. Make sure that, you're licensed to carry. Make sure you protect yourself, protect your families. Don't be out here wilding out financially or whatever, because it's about to be some ugly days ahead. You best believe another shutdown is coming. The dollar, I don't know if the dollar can collapse any more than it has or whatever, but, stop running out buying up all the damn toilet paper and do stuff that makes sense. You can wipe your ass with a towel. I cracked myself up. But anyway, hey, been lovely talking to y'all. We're going to see y'all tomorrow for another episode of Boss Talk Radio. Go back and check out our YouTube channel and check out the Monday Boss Motivation and Tuesday Tax Tips. We're not going to do a term of the week this week because an amazing thing happened, right? I didn't know this was even possible, but this is another media thing, right? So did you know any word that you learn reading a dictionary, whatever, it doesn't matter. The meaning of a word can be changed just like that. So last night, what was previously called rioters, protesters, or not protesters, rioters, thugs, things of that nature, mindless behaviors, some stuff like that. Last night, it was called patriots. They were called patriots. It's like, how the fuck that add up? Yeah, they were called patriots. I was like, wow, this is what patriotism looks like. But just as we saw the unveiling of the mindset of many of white America, I want y'all to learn something from this the next time y'all decide to do marches, rallies, or whatever, protests or whatever. when the shit go left, when the courts don't give you the ruling that you want, did you see them in their neighborhood tearing up their own shit? Nope. They took it straight to the house. And not their house either. So lesson learned on that one. Y'all know where y'all supposed to wreak havoc if you want to cause a problem. Don't tear down and burn down your own neighborhoods. Take that over there and let them feel it. I wonder how much it's going to cost taxpayers to repair all these windows and everything. But nevertheless, stay tuned and watch how this thing plays out or whatever, because I don't think Donald Fuck pulled out his last trick out of his bag yet or whatever. I think he got something else up his sleeve before it's all said and done. And he's got a cult following, like for real. This dude got a serious cult following. So we'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Join us then. Until then, have a blessed day and be safe.